Okay, so there are going to be times, especially during retrograde season, there's going to be times where you're going to hear yourself in your head, and there are going to be fear thoughts. I need you to understand something. There are going to be fear thoughts. It's going to be the opposite of what you want. People keep telling you, control your thoughts, this and that. Sometimes you just got to let that bitch pull up a seat and let her run her mouth, or let him run his mouth. You understand? Because sometimes it's more energy and exhaustion trying to stop it or counteract it. You just need to let it run its mouth. This is what happened to me this morning. Because I take everything that happens to me and tell you guys. So that's what happened to me this morning. This morning, fear took a seat. Like, fear took a seat this morning, and it walked with me all the way to the bus stop. And it stood right there at the bus stop and kept telling me everything that was not going to happen, and everything that is a fucking delusion, and everything that was not going well in my life. Usually I would implode and be like, oh my God, this is terrible, and all this other stuff, and start crying and all this other stuff. It hit me in my gut a couple of times. It had a couple of jabs in my stomach, and I was like, oh, that one hurt. Like, that one, oh wow, that one hurt. Tell me more. What else do you think? And it's just like, anything you run from, you cannot conquer. Does that make sense? You can't keep running from your fear and talking about, no, it's not there. No, it's not there. No, you have to face it. You have to face it. Listen to what it's saying to you, and don't internalize it. Because that's what I did. I didn't internalize what I was hearing. I just listened to it. And I was like, okay. I was like, okay. Because just the same way you can visualize and see things going well, the opposite is going to happen. That's the part of the game. The opposite is going to happen too. You're going to visualize, and fear is going to take a seat. Just let it sit down. Let it sit down. Let it sit down. Let it say what it wants to say. But the trick is, you cannot internalize it. Once you feel that you start internalizing, shut it up. I'd be like, okay, that's enough, and shut it down. Do not believe that I got here and just woke up here. I did not. There were times where I could only take that fear conversation for 2 seconds. And then I was freaking out, and I was like, shut the hell up. And I was just like, no, this is not going to work. It's progressed because I've practiced this. This is something I practice. I don't do it often because that's way too much energy. But like, every so often, when I feel like that pressure cooker is happening and I need to get it out, I just let it talk. I let it talk. I let every fear that I'm thinking about, that I feel, I let it out. But I don't say it out loud. I don't know if that's helpful. I don't say it out loud because I'm not giving it a voice. I'm listening to its complaints. Does that make sense? When something happens, when the breath sends the spell out, that's not good. I'm talking about and I'm not talking about in your head where you can't control it and you're like, oh my God, my thoughts. No, you gotta practice that. You gotta get to that point where you can walk down the street and just listen to it and be like, all right, what is your problem? And they're telling you what the issue is, or what their fears are. You understand? That comes in time. Don't do that right away. You have to gradually lead up to that. Does that make sense? So it's like, I let it talk. I let it talk. I got teary eyed a couple of times because I was like, damn, you right. You right. You know, and then once it was somewhat finished, or finished, because it could go on all day. You don't want that neither. You don't want it to go on all day. So once it went on all day, I sat it down again, and I was like, we're going to be okay. No matter what happens, I got us. We're going to be okay. We're not depending on anyone to hold us down. You understand? If people leave, they leave. If people stay, they stay. That doesn't, we're not a freaking leaf in the wind. We're an actual tree, a solid tree that dug its roots down to the ground and it's being nurtured by the ground. That's who you are. You're not a fly by night person. If you're watching me, you're not a fly by night person. You understand? You put in the work to get to and be who you are right now. So no one can take this from you because no one gave it to you. Does that make sense? So that's what I said to it. I was like, was I mopey for a little bit? Yeah, that's going to happen too. Can we stop pretending like this shit ain't hard? You understand? You're going to get set. Don't stay there. But after a bout with fear or doubt, all these or fear's cousin, insecurity, anxiety, your body is taking a hit. So you got to give your body something to relax you. Try not to overeat. Try not to overdo anything. Play video games. Don't overdo it. You understand? Watch a movie. Don't overdo it. You understand? You got to give yourself a recovery time. And I did. And that's how that works. I love you guys. Stay up, stay blessed. Deuces. And I'm out.